Archiving. Mic's off. Jingle.
Locatora Radio. Locatora Radio. Locatora Radio. Mommies of myth and bullshit. A radiophonic novela. Locatora Radio, hosted by
Mala Munoz
and Diosa Fem.
Hello, Locamores. Welcome back to Locatora Radio.
Welcome back. It's your host, Las Locatoras. I'm Mala.
And I'm Diosa.
And we are recording once again from Radio Espacio here at Espacio 1839 in Boyle Heights. Welcome to another capitulo of Locatora Radio.
Locatora Radio is a radiophonic novela archiving the geniuses, brilliance, and legacies of women and femmes of color.
That's what we do.
Thank you for tuning in once again. For today's capítulo, we have an interview with Morenita and Mike of
Also known as HoodProfet.
I'm like, which name do I use?
Better known as HoodProfet.
And we'll be interviewing them in a little bit, but
Yeah.
we're gonna do our regular segments before then.
Yeah.
So last time on Locatora Radio, you heard our episode Catch Up Call In.
We're actually very curious about people's thoughts about the episode. We have heard some positive feedback about just like the conversation, the way that, like discussing balance,
Right.
discussing accountability. I think also we've heard from people that, especially those like Shop Latinx, like
Yes,
Brit, right?
reached out to us.
Like people who are, creating something online or have some type of a presence or a business or an account or what have you, and maintaining that accountability
Yes.
with the people you're interacting with.
Right, and also setting boundaries, right? That's always hard for us. I think as individuals, as women, it's hard for us to set boundaries. And then once you're getting into like creating content, then thinking like, oh, also have to have boundaries with this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
in that realm.
So I think we're still learning how to negotiate that
Absolutely.
for the podcast.
So, as always, we want to hear from our listeners, like, what you think of any particular capítulo or of a discussion, of a topic, of an interview. We do want to hear the feedback. We want to hear what you guys think about it.
We love the feedback. We love when you comment on the Instagram. We love when you tweet at us.
Yes.
All of that good stuff. The DMs,
Yeah,
they're appreciated.
absolutely. So thank you for tuning in always.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. So we're going to jump right into our Oye Loca segment because we do have our interview with Morenita and HoodProfet coming up. Ven acá.
Come here.
Oye Loca.
What? All right. What?
Okay.
What was in our Curious Cat this time?
So we have so many Curious Cat Me questions, which I love. Thank you so much to everyone that's been submitting questions. It's been difficult sorting through them to pick because we want to answer all
We
of
have
them.
a lot. You guys are very curious.
Yes.
Very curious about us and what's going on.
This one I thought was really funny and interesting. It's what is your least favorite and most favorite capítulo of Locatora Radio?
First of all, are there people who have least favorite episodes? Because I am aghast. I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, oh my god, there's a dog.
Where?
Oh my god, there's a dog. Oh my god. I'm like
Nico just pulled the dog out of the bag.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, you're like, there's a dog. This is a blooper.
I'm like, what?
Dog.
Oh my God.
mothers.
I know.
Okay. What were we
Okay.
talking about?
So what is your least favorite and most favorite episode?
What were you saying?
Well, okay, this now, I don't remember what I was saying, but what I wanted to say is I don't have a least favorite.
No, of course not.
I don't have a least favorite because I value all of the work that we put into each capítulo, and I value and love all of the guests that we've had on the show. I will say that I get a little pena ajena, cringy. Our earlier episodes, our first maybe even 10.
We were just starting.
When we were first starting, because the sound quality, right, and even I think now our format is just much more refined I think in the beginning it was very much like, just listen to us chit chat. You know what I mean? We don't really have a structure, but now I really love the structure that we've developed, and how we try to like really time everything so that it's not just us, you know, going on and on about one certain topic or not even getting into the topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I listened to one of my favorite. Well, I guess all of them are my favorites. So I can't even say like one of my favorites.
Right.
But
it's like choosing a favorite
kid
or pet.
I know. You have one.
I do have a favorite.
I'm like, wait, everyone has one. They won't admit it, but yeah. No, but like our goddess worship episode, I love that episode. I love what we've done with it. I love the workshop that we did at University of Oregon.
Yes.
But I think when I listen to it now, it took us like a good 30 minutes before we actually started talking about goddess worship. And we were talking about a bunch of different things before we even got onto the topic. And I think like now with my ear, I'm like, I don't like that.
Sure, right,
you know what I mean?
right. Let's get to it.
Yeah, there are days where it's like, yeah, we are going to go off topic because a dog is going to come into the espacio. You know what I mean? But like now, I feel like we're more structured.
We are more structured. Yeah. I think that we've fallen into our groove.
Yeah.
Our rhythm.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to force it.
No.
Just over time, I think.
Yeah, we've been learning.
I think one of my favorite, if we're talking about favorites, right? I always like the multidimensional hoe is such a fave. Also Femme Revenge. And for me, the capítulos too, it's not just like the episode, like listening to it itself. It's also like the names.
Mm-hmm.
The capítulos, like Femme Revenge is like one of my favorite names
I love that.
for a capítulo, right?
Mm-hmm.
The songs that we choose to use, you know, so those are definitely, and then look, even, I mean, I know that our first ones weren't not as refined, but look at epistemologies, and when we had the girls, Mamis and Miches, that was a really fun one.
It was.
That was very fun.
You know, and I love our local epistemology.
Yeah.
I think that really laid the foundation for what we're going to talk about, or what this podcast is about.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't change that for anything. But I do like to listen to it to see like how far we've come.
Oh yeah, and we've come very far.
Yeah.
I mean, even just the fact that now, like, even I was like looking at the Instagram the other day, and I looked at the very first post, like our photos, our first photos, like our first little canvas, and then now to see like the photos that we're taking, and the stages that we're on, and now we have like the video element, and it's cool too for me to see, like you said, like the capítulos don't just stay as audio; they turn into workshops.
Exactly.
Living, breathing things.
Yeah,
awesome.
I love it. Growth is amazing.
Next question.
Okay, this one is hilarious and also very valid. So, how do you teach your 12-year-old niece that men are trash?
It's a good question. And I have an answer for that question. First of all, you can never start too young teaching kids about patriarchy.
I agree.
And about violence against women and about violence against queer people. It's never too young to talk about boundaries, to talk about safe space, how to say no to people. Yeah. For me, like when I hear that question, how do you teach your 12-year-old niece that men are trash? What I hear is, how do you prepare your 12-year-old niece to survive men?
Yes.
Right? Those are the conversations. I have a lot of little cousins who are little girls. There's a lot of girls in my family and a lot of little girls. And so I'm always very cognizant of the things that I'm saying to them and the lessons that I teach them. Like one time, my goddaughter, Chloe's, I asked her, like, oh, like, what does a princess do? Like mimic for me a princess. And she goes like this, please.
Oh.
You know? And I was like, no, let's try this again. You know? So like things like that, just little ways.
Right. I mean, I would say like it's just so normalized the way we recognize boys, like as girls, right? As young girls, the way we recognize boys' attention is like very harmful, like the teasing. You know what I mean? And then we recognize that as like, oh, it's because they like me, or oh, it's because this and this and that. You know what I mean? It's like it's that they like you, but actually they do not. Oh my god. Yeah.
Hi, Gato. Hey, girl. Hey, friends. I love the overalls. Those are so cute.
Aww.
Gordita Applebaum just walked into the building. Gordita Applebaum in the cutest friggin' outfit I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
That purse, the overalls. We love you.
I miss you.
Oh my god, hilarious.
So many friends in the building.
I know.
Human and canine.
I know. I'm like, am I editing this out? Am I leaving this in? That's what I'm thinking right now.
So.
Anyway, all right. So yeah,
Men being trash.
men being
Right.
trash. So how do you teach your 12-year-old niece that men are trash? Yeah, I mean, like Mama said, like it's never too early to learn about consent. It's never too early to learn about learning how to say no, learning like what your body needs, what your boundaries are.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've talked in like other capítulos is like how do you children really pick up on the vibes that a person is emitting.
Yes.
Right? If someone feels like strange to them, it's probably because this person is not going to be good for them.
It's not a safe person.
Exactly.
I like in my self-defense classes when I teach our assertiveness portions, especially when I'm with women of color, especially if I'm with like a Spanish-speaking group, I like to talk a lot about how the fact that we basically not beat the intuition out of little girls, but we discourage it so much that we become adults. We know something is bad for us. We know we don't like something, but calladitas, right? And we just kind of grin and bear it.
Yeah.
And I always tell, especially if I'm teaching self-defense to youth, listen to your intuition. Like Diosa said, that creepy uncle, that creepy relative or neighbor, teacher that hugs you and puts their hand in the wrong place, hugs a little too tight, a little too long, a little too intimate, you know that that's predatory behavior.
Yeah.
Like, you can feel it. Allow your kids to say no to adults.
Yeah.
Allow your kids to even sometimes come off as rude to adults.
Right.
What the fuck does it matter if an adult man is offended? Who cares? My concern is your 12-year-old niece safe?
Yep.
Right? So that would be my approach.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Did we want to answer another?
Those are all the ones I have.
Okay, those are cute. Those are fun.
Okay, so do we have anything for weird things white women did this week?
Okay, well, weird things white women did this week. No, I wasn't really around any white women this week. I don't have a new story.
Me either, but on Easter Sunday.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so on Easter Sunday, I went to Duarte. My brother lives in Duarte, and I drove, so we were pulling out my family and I parked right across the street from his house. And we park and we're getting out, and immediately a white woman comes out of her house and she goes, "Oh, are you guys here for Easter Sunday, or are you guys here for like visiting or something like that?" And I didn't even acknowledge her because I knew something weird was gonna happen.
Right.
And then my mom muy nice.
Yeah.
Right? She's just like, "Oh yeah, we're going to my son's." And then she goes, "Oh, okay, because I have people coming too." And then she comes and she brings out a freaking a cone, and she's reserving parking. And I just like looked at her, I looked at the cone, and I was like, that is illegal. And I just walked inside.
That is illegal.
I was like, you can't reserve parking with a cone. Like,
you can't.
You can't.
Oh, my grandma does it every single day.
Fine. Grandma can do whatever she wants.
That's
this
true, that's
white lady comes out to ask us if we're parking there and then puts a cone out.
That's hilarious. That's a good one.
It was very strange.
That's a good one.
I was like, why are you being weird?
Weird white ladies.
Weird white ladies. Okay, we also have, so we're going to jump into our interview with Morenita.
We're going to bring them in.
Yes, Morenita and Mike. So I wanted to say that we have events coming up, and April 10th we will be at USC. We're doing a multidimensional hoe workshop.
So fun.
We'll share the details. It's at 7:30, I believe. And then April 13th, which is a Friday, we're going to be at UC Santa Barbara, and we're giving a keynote at their Mujercita conference.
It's going to be cute.
It's going to be really cute. And then April 17th, we are going to be at USC again, and we're doing a femme defense workshop.
Also very cute.
Yes, so we're super excited.
Check out the Instagram.
Check out these events.
We'll post more about the events and where to find us and how to get there and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So we're going to go into a song break.
So we're about to bring in Morenita and HoodProfet. So stay tuned, and we're going to chat with them.
Alright, and that was Miel by Weapons of Mass Creation. Thank you to Morenita and Mike for bringing that song. We're so excited to have them both here, so we're going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Morenita, and I'm the CEO and founder of Let's.Give.
My name is Mike, and I do quotes.
Also known as HoodProfet.
Also known as HoodProfet. Thank you so much for being here with us
Thank
today.
you guys for having us.
And this is actually the second time, like, I can't believe it's been a year, right?
Right.
The second time we've had Let's Give here at Espacio on Locatora Radio to talk about your projects, your events, the really exciting programs that you guys are putting together. So thank you for coming back to update us and keep us in the loop. We love it.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yes.
No, thank you guys so much for having us. We've been able to accomplish a lot since then. Yeah, we actually sent 49,000 pounds of donations and hurricane relief to Puerto Rico after the hurricanes.
Right.
We got a chartered plane. I think we were like the second organization that sent the most out of LA.
That's
So
amazing.
it was really, really dope. And then like we just finished Bakersfield with Dolores Huerta actually. So we helped over 400 families with clothes donations and like hand massages to the microfarmer community.
That's amazing.
Amazing. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
all of the work that y'all have been doing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the way that Let's Give, how you all have been able to really like get so many community members to like really show up and show out and on the ground and really put in that work and that effort. It's not easy to do.
No.
Grassroots organizing is very difficult.
Yeah, no, it's not, especially since we're youth based, so
Yeah.
ran by youth and reaching out to the youth. So the community that's helping is 14 to 27, and so it'll get a little difficult at times with like we're still kids, you know.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that's really dope about us is like everybody here in the organization and everybody that's being attracted to the organization, they're really about helping the community and like really about serving. They're not self-entitled. We don't do this for like self-gratification or anything. So yeah, it's really dope. So everyone like, it's hard, but it gets done, you know?
Yeah, amazing. So, tell us a little bit more about why we're here today, why we're talking with y'all today. So last year we were a part of the tribal culture. So let's talk about that.
So a tribal culture is an arts collective night created by Let's Give. So this is our second annual tribe, and what we do is we bring arts to, like arts as a collective to a community that doesn't usually get it. There's Hawthorne. I grew up in Hawthorne. Hawthorne's really close.
Shout out.
Yeah, Hawthorne's really close to my heart, and growing up I realized that like I was always having to go out to these different communities, hours away from my own, to get these art experiences, and it kind of like hurt that was never in my home. So I brought it to a local high school. Well, we as Let's Give brought it to a local high school, and it's performances, musicians, singers, poets, big poets that I'm really, really close to, Mike, Jessica, and then we have musicians, we have dancers, we have poets, we have an entire art walk, and we also have vendors. So the vendor aspect of it is bringing like small mom and pop shops or like cyber shops to vend, and they get to keep 100% of the proceeds.
Amazing.
And the artists, they get to vend and they get to sell their artwork, and they get to keep 100% of the proceeds. So not only are we helping the economy of local artists, because as artists, we know how hard that can be sometimes not having that outlet, but we're also providing arts and unification through the arts, like black and brown unity through the arts into a space that doesn't usually get that. So that's the beautiful part of it.
And you're participating in tribal culture. Can you tell us a little bit about your role and what the event means for you, your participation?
Yeah. I mean, I think even just to Morenita's point exactly of like bringing these spaces back home. You know what I mean? And I think like in doing social justice work or in like community work or in whatever, it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard and it's draining and it's hard to get up and organize and to strategize constantly, especially against systems that are like directly affecting you. And I think that's one of the reasons it's so important to have this space, but especially like me coming into the space and going like this is needed, of like going, we work on all these things, but when do folks have time to heal? When do folks have time to celebrate? When do folks have time and space in their homes with people that look like them to hold space for each other? You know, and I think the other part of that is also like we always talk about like dismantling these systems. We always talk about the work that we do. We always talk about social justice, but then also I kind of go like, when we talk about dismantling these systems, what else are we also doing to rebuild institutions? You know what I mean? Like I think we talk about institutions and it becomes like this trigger word. and it's because we have like can I?
Absolutely.
And then I think it's
We
because
welcome it.
Yes.
tight. And I just think like we have a really fucked up relationship with institutions. You know what I mean? It's dangerous and it's unhealthy. But then also, I think we have to take it upon ourselves to rebuild them. You know what I mean? Because then it's just like we dismantle all these institutions, and then where do our people have to go? And I think Tribe is like does a really good job of doing that. You know what I mean? Of like rebuilding a consistent space for folks to heal and live and thrive in. That's home, and also with people that look like you. You know what I mean? So I think that's when, yeah.
It's a very beautiful event.
It is. I mean, last year when we were there, like the flyest Black and brown youth were there,
Oh my
like
God.
dressed so
To
cute,
the nines.
so
The outfits,
beautiful.
the outfits alone.
Right?
We didn't even see the performances. We were outside, and the outfits alone. Well,
Yeah.
last year what we were doing is we were interviewing the vendors.
Mm-hmm.
So that was sort of our role. And this year we are going to be participating in Tribe Called Culture
Yes,
as
we are.
Locatora, but in a different capacity.
Yes.
Which I think we're still
We're
working
still working it out, but we will be there nonetheless to support. And
TBD.
yeah, we'll see.
No, I can definitely bet for the artists last year, not only the visual artists, but also the performances. They were
Right.
amazing. And this year, like, we're taking it up a notch. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Like, Weapons of Mass Creation that was playing earlier, they're going to be playing. Aponte, he's playing. We have Kevin Sandbloom again this year. I mean, we got Jessica Salgado,
Right.
HoodProfet, Kino Fortune, Angela, and then, like, Chingon on Fire. It's amazing.
It's gonna be super dope.
That's a great lineup.
Yeah, no, and that's just
lineup
the
is
tip of the
stacked.
iceberg.
The
Like,
lineup is stacked.
it's amazing. And then we have like local poets and like people that are going to the school that are gonna be performing as well. So
Can you tell us a little bit about the high school and like the community that you're hosting this event at Lusinger, right?
yeah, Lusinger High School right there, and it's like borderline Hawthorne Lawndale area. It's really close to my heart. I wasn't able to go there. They've really come up though since my childhood. I mean, Lusinger used to be known for race riots and a lot of pain within our community was focused in Lusinger, and they've really been able to clean themselves up. And the campus is beautiful, and
It is a very beautiful campus.
and it's a landmark actually in Hawthorne. So it's a historical landmark in Hawthorne. And
Really?
yeah, my entire family, all of my siblings went there. My dad went there. My mom almost went there, but her mom didn't let her. Like, she didn't let me. But yeah, no, it's a landmark in not only my life but in Hawthorne as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And who would you say, like, if you were to describe the Let's Give Tribe Called Culture attendees demographic, like, who's going, who's showing up, like, who's, you know, who?
The flyest. It's a family event, you know. So we have all ages. Moms, dads, grandpas, aunties, uncles, those
Yeah.
aunties and uncles that aren't really your aunties and uncles,
Right.
but like, they still are.
Tío
You know?
político,
Yeah. And it's just the block is coming. The
Yeah.
block is showing up.
The
And
show.
It's dope.
Oh my god, just to like see you talk about it, like just gets me so excited
Yeah.
because you're glowing.
You're excited.
You can see like
Aw,
how
thank
much
you.
passion you have for this project because I know that this is your baby.
It
like, you
is.
spearhead this.
Yeah, no, this has been my vision. This arts collective night has been my vision since before I even started LetsGive. And it really was, I started LetsGive so that I can do something like this. And like, yeah, LetsGive, we help and we work in our communities as well, but like, I needed that outlet. I needed a form of being able to bring the arts, and you know, Tribe Called Culture isn't the only way we bring arts into our community through LetsGive. We try to incorporate arts not only radically, but as a form of healing and as a form of giving back to our community every chance that we get. When we're helping the migrant farmers in Bakersfield, we have a kids corner set up for them where we do arts and crafts with them, and we talk to them and we connect with them through arts and crafts. And so LetsGive really, really helped me visualize and conceptualize and bring Tribe to life. And without LetsGive, I wouldn't be able to do this. So it's this duality that like is truly amazing, and they're both my dreams come true. So yeah.
Love it.
Thank you.
So can I ask, how do you two know each other, and how do you two meet and like get in, and you know, like, what are the origins of the origin of this the work that you all do?
Right, poetry. So I met him at an open mic that Nangona Positivity Pride was actually putting on.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was a little over a year ago.
Very cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, I read a piece that I read a lot, actually. It's called Egun, and it's just about, like, honoring my ancestors. It's a note to my ancestors, and I guess...
And I think immediately we clicked just on, like, being the only Afro-Indigenous people in a poetry space, in a predominantly brown space, and being like, oh, shit, you look like me. And then it just kind of cracked, and I think it was around the same time the tribe was happening, and then y'all put me on the tribe, and we, like, became tribe.
Yeah, and he really became, like, a mentor to me, like a big brother. He helped me with my poetry and really, like, heal through these things that I was going through at the time through poetry and, like, through mentoring me through my poetry and stuff. And, like, I was able to do a lot of healing in that time span. And, it, like he touched on earlier, like, both being Afro-Indigenous in this space where, like, the duality isn't seen as much, and, like, being able to talk to somebody about that, about being black and brown in spaces that are usually only brown, usually only black, and, like, having that dialogue with someone that I'm not close to the Puerto Rican side of my family, so having that, it was really, really big for me because I wasn't able to have that dialogue that, I mean, needs to be had.
Absolutely. And as poets, so there's so many, oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about. There's so many levels and things going on here. Okay, the poetry scene, Let's Give, the internet, Instagram, like building community, like let's talk about that. Like, like as poets, as activists, as artists, and being very active also like online. What has community out in real life versus community like being built on Instagram and stuff? Like what has that been like for you all? Because this is, like, I think an ongoing conversation for us. Yeah. And we see how you all, like, also are very active, so I'm curious.
I think I really get to connect with younger brown girls through my Instagram. I mean, I don't have as big of a platform as him, but, like, I do get young girls often DMing me and, like, trying to have these conversations with me that they don't usually get in other spaces, and I'm all the way here for that. And so I talk to them, and I get to give them advice and stuff, and I wouldn't be having that because they're not in my own community. And I think it's really awesome too because I grew up in Hawthorne, but I also had to go to schools in really white spaces. And that was really, really hard for me because there was nobody who shared the same ideologies as me, and I was always having to be, that one loud revolutionary chick that, like, oh my god, she's so annoying. Whereas, like, online, and it happened a lot when I was beginning of my friendship with Mike, of, like, we would go out on weekends to open mics and stuff, and, like, we'd be the popular kids out there that, like, everyone wanted to talk to and, like, be around and stuff, and then right the next day I was having to go back to school where, like, I was at the bottom of the totem pole again.
Got it.
So it was like it gave me a chance to, like, really open up and be own myself and own the revolution in my soul and, like, be unapologetically radically me, and that helped me so much survive through my schools. Yeah, and I also think it's cool because you're not often in these communities or in these spaces where you can have dialogue with people who think the same way as you know, like, you're often in the community that you find and that you build online is very biased, yes, and it's very filtered, but it's a plus because you can have these dialogues and then go back into these spaces that are the opposite and know what you're talking about because you're being presented these different ideologies. I think that's great.
Yeah. Also, I think, like, since young, like, I mean, so I came up in, like, the organizing world of, like, hardcore, like, organizing and, like, agitating, educating. And so even now, like, I always look at social media as a tool of, like, I've been given this platform for whatever reason and, like, the work that I do in my art, and, like, I try to utilize it in organizing as much as I can. And, like, I think in just life, in, like, all the things, I try to utilize my shit as, like, resistance, as a radical act, as organizing. But I think I have qualms with social media a lot. Because while it's like, yes, it's this gateway and it's like this beautiful tool that you can use, also I think, like, I don't know, it just makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uber uncomfortable because I know a lot of folks that go on social media and be like, yeah, I'm at a rally with a flyer, and then, like, you're not really, you know what I mean? And then I think, like, also just, like, the trending of, like, all this, like, woke conscious shit and, like, you know what I mean? and it makes me uber uncomfortable. But then also as an organizer, I kind of go like, yo, social media has taken it a step further that I don't have to do now. You know what I mean? Because like now I get you and you already going to marches. Okay, great. Well, let me teach you this now. You know what I mean? Let me educate you on this. You know what I mean? And so while I have qualms with social media, a lot of going like, I know you're not connected to an org, or like what you're saying, like I can tell you didn't like go through like I know your political
steps
education.
were not taken.
Yeah, and it's just like a jump. And while it fucks with me, I also kind of go like, okay, like we get it somewhere at least. You know what I mean? Like at least like the steps are being kind of taken. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think in like as coming from LetsGive, I wouldn't have been able to reach out to so many youth to come and join us if it weren't for the platform that was created for LetsGive. And the page itself, because of how much it's been built, we've been able to reach out to so many more people and get in contact with so many more people that it was such an important tool to raising.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do want to say that like something that we were talking about earlier in the interview was just the sheer numbers of like the people that you were able to fill a plane with donations. You know, and like for me, I definitely saw that connection with the youth and the internet. Like that is like a new sort of organizing space, right?
Definitely.
It's just amazing to me that like I think it's dope.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
job.
you. And I think something that LetsGive presents that like not a lot of other organizations present is that anybody who joins us, we do the research. Like we're not walking blind into any event that we do. When we're going into the migrant farm workers in Bakersfield, we do research on what they have to go through, the suicide numbers, the mental health issues that are presented in these spaces. And when we're going into Skid Row, it's the same thing. We're not, whoever comes in, you're not going to be uneducated about the spaces that you're going into. No matter if you're brown, no matter if you're black, no matter if you're white. Like we present the research and it shows when you talk to the members.
That's very important. I appreciate that. I think, and you know, talking about like reasons why we are so happy to have you here again and to continue to like collaborate with you all and with LetsGive is because like I love you and think you're adorable. Number one. I've seen you perform your poetry at a couple at the Poetry Lounge and at Jessica's book release, and you're incredible. And also like just the projects that you all very intentionally choose to undertake, right? And delivering very like real material like needs and goods, and like the Bakersfield project, like I love that project. My family's from Bakersfield. I come from generations of farm workers. My dad was a farm worker, you know? So like for me, that's a beautiful project that is such like a local, like in LA, like a California, SoCal, like a need, you know? And especially for so many Latinos, even who are urban Latinos here in LA, many of us have our families out in agricultural communities, right? And we've just migrated now to the city in different ways. So I love, that's what I really love about LetsGive, is the very intentional projects you undertake.
Thank you.
Yes.
That means so much to
me.
Truly.
So I realized we've been talking so much about LetsGive and A Tribe Called Culture, but we actually didn't say the dates.
Right.
Let's
plug it. Let's plug everything.
Plug it now.
Plug all of it.
So right now, you can go on our website at letsgivemovement.org. Our tickets are on sale. You want to get them now before they run out.
Absolutely.
The show is going to be at Lusinger High School on April 27th. That's a Friday night. All right. Friday night. Doors open at 6? 5. Doors open at 5. You want to get there early because we have a whole art walk and vendors and stuff, and you want to be able to have time to go through everything. But yeah.
Love it. And where can people keep up with you two and follow your comings and goings and support your work as well as individuals?
All the interwebs.
Yeah.
You don't have to if you want to.
No. My Instagram is SilProfet, PROFET, and even just like with LetsGive stuff and personal stuff, all the things are there. I'm gonna be selling shirts also, so I'm excited for that, and like sage bundles and rose waters and oils and all the little artsy cute things.
Beautiful. I love the rings that you're wearing. The crystals are really beautiful.
I stole these from Michaels.
One day we'll have a conversation about like how many of us have histories of shoplifting.
That's why I'm like y'all family.
It's very real. We are coming to the end of our time with you all.
Oh,
I forgot. Go ahead.
So Let's Give. You can follow us on Instagram at Lets.Give, and then you can follow me at La Morenita with 3 A's at the end.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you for having
here.
us.
So I know that there's one more artist, Aponte, who's going to be performing, and we're going to end with one of his songs. Do you want to go ahead and introduce the song for our listeners?
Oh yeah, this is a Parranda by Aponte.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another Capitulo of Locatora Radio.
See you next time. Subscribe.
Follow, comment, leave us a review on iTunes. As always, we're on Audioboom, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. So thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
Besitos.
Oh.